Alright, round number 1, and we won the die roll, which is very crucial, and we will choose to go first. This hand's kind of awkward. If we had a fire slinger or a lacerator, it would be pretty perfect, but I think it's still worth keeping. Blood Ogre is you really do want to trigger the Bloodthirst before you play it, but it does do a decent job of turning on all your other Bloodthirst creatures, because a 2-1 or a 2-2 first strike is, not too hard to get through, especially when we've got pump spells and burn in our hand. I do like that our deck is able to play the long game pretty well, because we've got the double Firebird and the command. So even if we fall a little bit behind early, don't think it's lights out. Oh man, Dusthunter Bat was a very good draw. It's only a 1-1, but it will do a good job of turning on all our other Bloodthirst. Rune Servitor is fine. Do need to draw some mountains at some point. See if we get gut shotted here. That'd be interesting. It is noteworthy that we could Burst Lightning his Servitor to draw a card if we miss a land drop. Hopefully that won't come up this game, but it's something, I guess. Let's drop the Ogre. But yeah, if we do draw a couple mountains, I like our chances in this game. Of course, you never really know in this format, because a lot of the decks are just really good, because all the cards are good. Alright, bounce land I like seeing. See if he has a lightning bolt or something. Swamp. Better than nothing, but I would have much preferred it to be a mountain, of course. So this looks like it could be a brute force. No, he's just chumping. He wanted to draw a card, which could be good for us if we draw a mountain. No, we didn't. Alright. It's acceptable. I guess we'll just pass. He has 9 cards in his hand, which is kind of amusing. Yeah, Expedition Map resolves. So he's gonna have to discard, it looks like, unless he plays something here. But if he just cracks the map and gets a land, he'll still be at 8 cards. Alright. Looks like he figured that out himself. Alright, come on, mountain. Not quite. Could just start throwing burn in his face. Like brute force this turn would put him to 11. Burst Lightning has him at 7. Don't think that's going to be necessary this turn, but it's possible since we're choked on red mana that we want to use it more efficiently. Gets a Golgari Rot Farm, that's fine. Maybe he has a Vapor Snag or something. Yeah, I'm definitely happy I don't have Noblesse of War this game, because we're 4 mountains off of casting that. What was the card we replaced it with? I guess it was the last cut, so it didn't matter. So I was thinking at the last minute before I submitted that I could have taken out this brute force and put in Blades of Elisvel instead, which would be really good this game, but I think brute force is enough better in a normal game that we would rather have it, but I'm not sure about that. Blades of Elisvel is really good with a lot of evasion and whatnot. And the first strike, obviously. Chimeric Mass for 4. Okay, he left up mana to activate it, so I'm probably just going to kick Burst Lightning that when he activates it. I have to lose a life, darn. Huh, that was an interesting draw. Yeah, that actually changes my play this turn, I think. I could kick Burst Lightning when he goes to activate this. So my options, I think, are attack with everyone, he blocks Blood Ogre, and I save it. But then I can't really play anything else this turn, except hold up Burst Lightning. And he goes to 11. Or I could attack with just the bat, put him to 13, play the Firebird. Or I could attack with everyone, lose the Ogre, he goes to 11. I play Firebird, I have 7 power in play. So he'd go to 4, and then I have Burst Lightning. It's interesting. Yeah, I think I like that play, because that guarantees lethal next turn. Actually, that's wrong, because I can just brute force for lethal next turn anyway, because I have enough mana to brute force plus kick Burst Lightning, so that's 7 damage right there. 13, 12, 6. That is, wait, let me do the math. 13, play Firebird, so that's 7 power in the air, so I'd put him to 6, brute force to 3, yeah. So I'm just going to send with the bat. I could throw away the Blood Ogre just to deal 2 extra damage, but I don't think that's worth it. He has a lot of cards in hand, so we might be in for more of a grind fest. Like, I am tempted to just go for the win this turn, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Trying to think what sweepers he could have to get me here. Wildfire wouldn't save him. Savage Twister wouldn't do it. I don't think there's like a Wrath of God or whatever in this format. There's All Is Dust, but that costs 1 more mana. We know he has a Rot Farm in hand. I don't think we know any other cards. See what we've got. We did see like an Arrest in this draft. Don't remember what other Etched Oracle's fine. No, he doesn't have the full force Sunburst, so he can't use it. Rot Farm, okay. So what could he do for 1 mana to save himself? Lose a life. Alright, so if I send with just my 2 flyers, that's 7 damage, that's 6. So we do have lethal, assuming that this white mana doesn't represent something that I can't think of right now. I guess it could be Dispatch, but he doesn't have Metalcraft, so I'll go to combat and see what he does. I think I am going to attack with everyone here, because if he activates his Chimeric Mass, we know that we're in the clear, because he taps himself down. Alright, looks like we've got it. Oh yeah, go to blocks. Give this guy plus 3. So you take 10. I will kick a burst lightning at your face. Okay, so he looks like a slow 5-color control-ish deck. So let's see how we want to sideboard. All of our cheap guys are obviously very good. Didn't see any good blockers that game, but it doesn't mean that they're not in his deck. He just had an awkward draw, possibly. He had a lot of cards in his hand there at the end of the game, so you never really know what the texture of his deck might be. I don't see anything on my sideboard I'm thrilled about, except maybe Blades, because it looked like if he's like on a slow deck with not a lot of blockers, this has the potential to deal more damage than Brute Force, so maybe we just want to replace that. Could also replace Copper Carapace. It is a lot slower, so I think I'll do that. And we'll just go with that. Wrecking Ball's great with all of his bounce lands, but it's better on the play. That's not like actually a winning strategy. They can just sometimes get people. So yeah, we'll just go with this. So if we have a swamp in the top 2 cards of our library, this hand is great, but still definitely a keep. Turn 1 Fireslinger is just always where you want to be. Oh, my opponent mulled to infinity and conceded, so that's unfortunate. Alright, well, we were going to be able to play an Ashimore Gouger on 3, so I think we would have still had a pretty good chance even if he played it out on 5 or whatever, but unfortunate end for our opponent, but move on to the second round.